What's up everyone, my name is Chris, welcome to the Like Sneaker channel. For first time viewers, my reviews are based on me rating the following categories and scoring them out of 10. And I'll provide a full depth review, on-feet footage, sizing, value predictions and my overall feelings towards the sneaker. And this is all purely subjective. For those who have been following my videos, you're probably aware I am a big fan of both ASICS and KITH brand. So allow me to present to you the KITH collab with ASICS GEL LYTE V Leatherback. These pairs had two different release dates. The first one was through the KITH's loyalty program for those who had leatherback of the ASICS GEL LYTE V model to allow early access. The general release was via KITH's website on 26th of November 2021 for a recommended retail price of £155, which is equivalent to $165 US. The founder of KITH, Ronnie Fye, has brought back two iconic colorways, the salmon toe and leatherback, that was introduced 10 years ago for the opening of his stores in Manhattan and Brooklyn with the ASICS GEL LYTE V sneaker. For this collaboration pair, Ronnie Fye have used the iconic color blocking and executed on the ASICS GEL LYTE V silhouette. When these were launched on the KITH EU website, my usual UK size 10.5 were quickly sold out and there were only UK 10 available. And because I was desperate to get a pair, I went and purchased a UK 10 for retail and hoping I could break into these with time. Similar to the salmon toe, this is more about nostalgia rather than concept. The leatherback colour blocking was launched 10 years ago, and KITH's ongoing relationship with ASICS is perhaps one of the most influential. Ronnie Fye's initial GEL LYTE V collabs were instrumental in propelling his own brand to the sneaker world, and they're extremely hard to get as they are limited. The original leatherback were popular, prompting more collaborations with KITH and ASICS to happen. With their reappearance happening in the form of the ASICS GEL LYTE V, ASICS and KITH enthusiasts will now have an opportunity to obtain a pair reminiscent of both Ronnie Fye's past and future work. Having both suede and leather on a pair of sneakers is nothing new, but having a black leather as the base of the sneaker and implementing a grey suede toe box and throw in some teal colour, it works out pretty well. Till date, there are endless collaborations and colorway produced from Ronnie Fye, and the leatherback is definitely one of his best early colorways. But I have to be honest, I think it has slowly forgotten through time. Because of what it represented to both ASICS and KITH back then, this score is purely based on nostalgia, so I'm going to give it a 10. The box is well thought of as it clearly represents the iconic ASICS stripes and the leatherback colorway. Here is a photo of the label for those who like to pause and view it. The default laces are in black and have provided 3 additional laces, teal, grey and also a combo of black and teal tugged rope style. This comes in a customized KITH dust bag and a GEL LYTE V leatherback pin, which is a nice touch. In terms of packaging and accessories, I am delighted with it as this is what a regular retail collaboration should be all about. Again, this deserves a perfect 10. The familiar black, grey and teal and colour blocking is applied to the GEL LYTE V with a pigskin suede upper with a perforated toe box in dark grey. There is a total of 7 eyelets on each side. We have the defaulted flat tonal black laces which are laced across the neoprene tongue, while mismatched ASICS and Fye branding is embroidered between the left and right pair. On both lateral and medial side panels, it features the ASICS black synthetic leather stripes with the teal colour outline. The GEL LYTE V logo branding is embossed specifically on the lateral side. On the heel, the wording of KXTH is embossed on the heel overlay, with the X representing the Roman numeral value as a nod to KITH's 10th year anniversary. We have a black EVA heel counter to provide support at the back. For the sock liner, this is also in neoprene, which is formed as one unit with the tongue, which is a key characteristic of the GEL LYTE V model. For the insoles, we have an all-black insole with both ASICS and the special KXTH branding in teal colour printed on. The whole shoe sits on top of a black EVA foam midsole, which is partially supported with the ASICS gel cushioning. The final third of the midsole is decorated with this slick pattern in black. For the outsole, the forefoot and heel area is constructed in teal rubber, and the central area we have the exposed black EVA foam with the embossed ASICS branding. I am happy to see they have skipped the GEL LYTE V signature wavy pattern on the midsole, as I don't think it will improve the appearance. I am normally not a big fan of black sneakers, but I think this looks rather nice and the hits of teal with matching of 2 materials is well executed. Personally, I would amend the colour of the KITH branding on the heel from black to teal to define the KITH branding. I think ASICS and KITH have done a good job in transferring the colour from the GEL LYTE V to the GEL LYTE V model. and it is a very close rendition. For an iconic colorway and slick appearance, I'll give this a 9.5. This pair is primarily constructed of pigskin suede, synthetic leather and neoprene. Although it is not made of premium suede, but it is rather soft, though I think it's not quite durable to withstand the challenging weather conditions. Therefore I will apply stain and water repellent to it. I will give this a 7.5. It was widely reported that both salmon toe and leatherback releases have inconsistencies and very poor craftsmanship in terms of scuffed toe caps, visible glue stain and visible unalignment. Although there are only very minor glue stains to issue on my pair, mine are definitely not as bad as the ones I saw online, and I'm very happy with it. For my pair I have in hand, I'll score this a 9. Now let's move to some on-feet and lace swap footage. With regards to sizing, I understand everyone's foot and shape is unique. What I have done is I've measured my foot physically, and I've provided you a simple guide on how I've measured my foot and my measurements, and you can pause and view this guide in your own time. Hopefully this will provide you a better clue for viewers who are typically UK size 10 or US 11 or EU45 towards the fitting of the sneaker. So my feet physically measure 28.1 centimeter lengthwise, and I have flat-footed contour. To give you some indication, my standard Nike and Jordan sizes is UK 10, and because I've physically tried on the Gel Lyte 5 model before, I would say my ideal size for ASICS measurements is UK 10.5, which is equivalent to US 11.5 and EU46. Though these are UK size 10, it is a snug fit. I think I can get away with wearing thin socks. However, I probably cannot wear them for a long time as the width starts to cramp in a bit. But if I was to wear these regularly for at least 3 months, I think I can break into them and eventually it will loosen the width. I have normal width feet. I find these fit rather narrow, and I would personally go half a size up. Here I have the Gel Lyte 5 salmon toe in UK 10.5, and personally I find this fits me perfectly, and this doesn't require breaking in, and you can find my full depth review in the above banner. To be on the safe side, if you do have an opportunity, go to a store and try on Gel Lyte 5 model is what I would strongly suggest, and note that the sock you are wearing on the day can affect the fitting. In conclusion, if you have narrow or normal width feet and you like a snug one-to-one fit and willing to give some time to break in, then you can stick with true to size. If you have normal or slightly wide feet and you like your forefoot area with the right breathing space, with the straight out the box feel, then go with half size up. For people with extremely wide feet, then I would recommend going one size up. The Gel Lyte 5 is a comfortable model. The neoprene sock liner design took some time for me in getting used to, because I feel my ankle and heel is not gripping onto the sock liner. But once I overcome it, I find it comfortable, especially in the heel and forefoot. I find it responsive, and I have tested it out with vigorous jumping movements and feel the gel cushioning does absorb shock and didn't strain my knee joints and forefoot area. It is also very lightweight, which is a plus. If it is the perfect size, I would say most people have no issues with wearing for long durations or weekend trips. I'll score this at 8.5. The Gel Lyte 5 Leatherback is pitched towards a lifestyle sneaker. In terms of practicality, it is very comfortable, but have to be mindful of the suede toe cap from scuffing. Being a darker shade of colour spectrum, you wouldn't notice the creasing or a bit of dirt. You may want to consider avoiding wearing these in extreme hot weather conditions, as the neoprene sock liner will act like a sponge for sweat if wearing low ankle or invisible socks. The colour blocking tends to go well with most urban outfit, either with joggers, jeans or shorts. I'll score this at 8.5. To give you some perspective of the value for the original Gel Lyte 3 Leatherback, depending on sizes, they are valued between £600 to £900 for a dead stock pair, which makes this Gel Lyte 5 highly anticipated for both ASICS and KITH collectors. As expected, these were sold out almost immediately during the release. But very surprisingly, according to StockX, the market value rapidly dropped like a ton of brick after 3 months of its initial release. Perhaps the legacy of the Leatherback has declined for the next generation of sneakerhead, who knows. The Leatherback colour blocking was super limited for the past decade, however the Gel Lyte 5 model are not as popular as before. Therefore I think the value within this year will be between £60 to £120, and if I was to be optimistic, the highest peak will be just on the borderline of the retail price. Please note these are purely based on my personal predictions. As things stand, the reintroduction of the Leatherback on the GL LYTE V is not too positive due to the lack of reaction towards it. On the positive spin, this means both ASICS and KITH collectors have an opportunity to grab a pair of a parallel version of a Holy Grail for under retail, and the Leatherback should no doubt be in every OG ASICS sneakerhead's collection. On a practical level, though I do prefer the GL LYTE 3 version, I still think there's a lot of positives for the GL LYTE 5. Firstly, its iconic colorway and very close similarities of it compared to the GL LYTE 3. Secondly, it is more comfortable than its predecessor because of the improvement in the cushioning technology. And importantly, the current price is attractive on most sneaker selling platforms. Therefore, for most general sneakerheads who like dark coloured sneakers, this is a decent choice. I absolutely welcome the return of the Leatherback. To complete this review, I am going to give it an overall score of 8.9. I would really like to know how you feel about the GL LYTE 5 Leatherback and whether you prefer these to the salmon toes. Please feel free to leave your comments below. Thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate if you can like, subscribe and share this video and channel. As always, I will bring you more interesting sneakers for reviewing. GL LYTE 5 Leather backing out.